And so it's not just that the AI boom is not going anywhere to focus on those companies. It means there's an opportunity that Wall Street's not just getting the hyperscalers wrong again. It actually points to the to Wall Street getting another company in the AI space wrong again, which is ServiceNow. So Joel, right? So recently, news came out, right? But J.P. Morgan and Canaccord and Citigroup, a bunch of others, all cut their estimates for their stock price, I should say, targets for ServiceNow. For those of you who don't know what ServiceNow is, by the way, big player in basically helping you run any of the boring, mundane things you have to run, from tickets for HR, tickets for IT, helping you basically access all of your infranet and your infrastructure and intelligence in your business. That this company is a huge AI enabler in that space, an AI user. Price targets cut by $200 to $400. So a lot of them dropped their stock targets from $1,400 for ServiceNow down to $1,000, $970 for JP Morgan. I think it was $1,020 for Citi, and call it $1,080 for Canaccord. But if you look at this, Joel, I mean, right? So, but all of them kept their outperform rating on ServiceNow, and that's what's so hilarious, right? It's like you're cutting your stock price by $200 to $400 and telling everybody that you don't think that this company is going to break its 52-week high, and yet you have it as an outperform. Doesn't make much sense, does it, Joel?
ServiceNow is a big company, Rob. I mean, they do a lot of banking business. They do big acquisitions. They're planning a gigantic, $30 billion acquisition? Is that right? Right? And that means the banks
$3 billion, but yeah, exactly. Yeah,
$3 billion. Sorry, they're planning a $3 billion acquisition. The banks are wanting to clamor to get their 7% of that, or 5% of that $3 billion for their, bonuses for Christmas or cocaine or whatever they spend their money on. The investment bankers do anyway. All right. I'm not picking on anyone in particular. I'm just saying in general it happens. Right, and so they're going to spend that kind of money, and yet while they're saying outperform on ServiceNow, and this is a buy or a strong buy or an overweight or whatever silly term they want to use, they're actually giving target prices that are below where the stock has been in the last 3 months. Right, so you're saying, oh, well, we hope we're going to get back to that price. That is called, the institutional investors say, the nudge, nudge, wink, wink. They're saying it's an outperform because they want the CFO and the CEO to say, oh, yeah, thank you for giving us your support, so we'll do our banking business with you. And then behind the scenes, they're like, oh, by the way, the target price, I've brought it to a number that's lower than where it's been in the last just few months. Wink. All right, what are they saying?
Yep.
Right? What are they saying? They're saying that, that the outperform doesn't line up with their models. It just doesn't.
And so, I mean, if you look at it, Joel, right, when you look at the real data and you think about the AI narrative behind this company, it's clear that one of their two takes is actually wrong, and they do not compute, right? And so for everybody,
right, so
if we step through, and Joel, you want to take everybody through this, yeah?
Yeah, so this is gap accounting. So if you go to Yahoo Finance or Google Finance or FactSet or Bloomberg or wherever, and you say, what is the return on assets? The earning power that Ben Graham and Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger and all the great investors have studied. The earning power of a company is what drives the stock up or down ultimately. They would say the earning power, its ability to generate earnings on its assets, right, is very low. It's not even a 6.5%, 4%. Well, this is reality. That's using uniform accounting, because Buffett and all the great investors say you can't trust GAAP accounting, or IFRS for that matter. International financial reporting standards are actually worse than U.S. GAAP. They are. Any accountants want to have a discussion about that, please ping me. All right, so anyway, it's worse, but under U.S. GAAP, it's still terrible, and nobody worth their salt. So we convert to uniform accounting, which uses the same accounting, the same electives, right, over the last 20, 30 years. So we have a nice comparable. And what it says is ServiceNow is actually a super high-return company. Global corporate average is 6%. China and Germany are like a 4% return on assets on average. And U.S. average is somewhere between 12 and 14%. And ServiceNow is getting close to 35% return on assets.
Exactly.
This is a phenomenal business. This is not a bad business. And if we look at the forecasts, right, based on the analysts back of the research, meaning where they actually do pro forma forecasts that we can gather from all of the, and really it's done by the research associates. It's the junior people that actually still have, a sense, regardless of the, outperform or target prices that don't line up. So the junior analysts put this together. They put it in the back of the research report. We're able to gather it all. And it says that they believe that ServiceNow actually is going to have increasing return on assets over the next 2 years. Those are the light blue bars. The actuals are the dark blue. The light blue bars are forecasts based on quarterly numbers that we already have and, right, forecasts from the analysts, meaning the actual detailed pro forma forecast. And then the white bars are getting to what's priced in the stock. So to get to the current $814 stock price, right, or wherever it's at, $800 stock price it is right now, you need these returns to follow what the, I'll say, junior financial analysts at the Wall Street firms are thinking, and follow that up over the next 3 years and then plateau it around 70% and hold it in perpetuity. That is a tough statement. That's expensive. That's going to tell you why some of the analysts are saying, hey, this is an outperform, but I'm giving a target price that's lower than where it's been in just the last 6 months, right? Nudge, nudge. That's the reason they're doing it.
But the best thing about this, Jules, this is one, oftentimes we pick on Wall Street in this case, JP Morgan, Canaccord, and Citi, because of the fact that it's brazenly obvious that they are telling people one thing and actually they really believe another thing. And we're like, well, clearly they think this. In this situation, they have a problem where effectively both of their conclusions are wrong. Because either you think that this company and that AI is done for this company and that it's running out of time, in which case your stock price target shouldn't be $970 or $980 when this stock is it. It should be $200 based on how high these expectations are. Well, on the flip side, and also obviously you shouldn't have an outperform, but if you really do think that this company is going to go gangbusters, that it's doing this well, quite frankly, your stock price target should be way higher for the business, because every single time that ROA goes up, the actual price target should rise, because you basically secure in that next year of profitability. So those price targets should be way, way, way higher if they are right for their outperform. So this is one of those awesome times that Wall Street is actually getting it wrong both ways, no matter what happens.
They're saying to the world, outperform, because they don't want to lose the banking business, right? Outperform, buy, strong buy. Meanwhile, they're giving target prices that are below where the stock has already been, right, which is just insane.